So you see yourself then as a sort of as a representative for all humanity in the search for truth?
Well, I believe that we're all united in the deep nature of things. That you and I and every other living thing was created by one and only God, one God alone. So what the one God is revealing to his creation is definitely relevant to each and every one of us. In that sense, yes, I represent you. You represent me. We represent all of the others, and in the quest for deeper and deeper understanding, knowledge, and knowledge specifically of the journey that leads us most directly to our Lord. And yes, in that sense, because he willed me to meet people of light and people of divine comprehension, people who had knowledge of him and were bowing down in praise because of that. Because I have met many of these beings in my life, coming into completion with my present Sheikh, whose name is Sheikha Maryam Kabeer Faye al-Fakir, this particular journey that has opened up realm after realm of beauty and light and mercy and grace is open to all. There's an open door and many open doors. If you see the cover of my book, it's a series of doorways. So yes, I would like to welcome all the sincere seekers to come on the journey and go through these doors, as I have been blessed to do.
So then as each of us progresses on our own personal journey, it contributes to the journey of humanity in general?
Yes. Now, the one who created everything with a purpose has put each thing in its place in this vast universe. And the food, the provision, or the rizq, we call it in Arabic, that provision for each life was created many thousands of years before the life even came here. How beautifully ordained all things are, and profoundly determined. So even the little insect under the stone, the provision for that insect was created for the insect by the one who created everything out of his mercy and love. So in that sense, all of us are seeking our provision, which is already predetermined for us. What provision are we seeking? Not only the food we eat every day, that's a great blessing. Not only the people that we meet, which is also and so profoundly beautiful as a gift from God. Every living being that you meet is now a gift from your Lord to you, and a mirror. And then deeper and deeper that you go back to the source of it all, and to the provision that he's giving you, which makes you know him, which makes you love him, which makes you know that he is with you at all moments, so that you feel the presence of God more and more profoundly. And that is pure provision of grace. There's no food like that. The food that we taste in this world is a small sign, it's a hint of what nourishment he has for us, which is beyond the limits of this world. And I think it's very important when the world itself is going through so many crises and kind of falling apart in one place or another, and the people are suffering and struggling with that almost dissolution or destruction. It's very important that we turn our attention to the imperishable, to the eternal source. Now, when we see that there are these struggles and wars and natural disasters, we are called to find that peace which is imperishable and not subject to the faltering conditions. of that are besieging humanity. So in our response to the crises, I believe that we need to go more and more deeply in the direction of the one who is eternal peace.
Do you see a spiritual reason behind the types of crises that humanity faces? And I don't mean the things that they create for themselves, like the wars, but what's happening with our surroundings, with the environment. Just recently, there's been horrible stories of people dying as a result of natural disasters. How does that fit into Islam and its perception of the Creator?
Truly, the Creator knows. It's so awesome to behold this that we cannot give a simple explanation. We know that if you read the scriptures, you will understand that this is something that has happened before. That each thing that we encounter in our present time has occurred at another time. And when we see that it happened at another time, there were explanations provided. In certain situations, the various peoples may have rejected the message of God, and there was a kind of disaster that occurred in response to that circumstance. It was a kind of awakening. But I can't say that about what's happening now. I think that it's a wake-up call no matter what. We can accept it as a wake-up call, environmentally, definitively. Then another part of the awakening is that when you see that you don't know when the hour will come, when the moment may come for each of us to go through some transformative crisis, and it might happen in the form of a natural disaster, it might happen in the form of death, it might take the form of the loss of someone dear, and we don't know the hour when these things will strike. So how I feel myself is that it's a wake-up, it's a message of inspiring us to cherish the moments that we have, to do good, and then do better, and try to make the absolute most of what time we have left on this earth. And there's a beautiful surah that I read every day, that I recite all the time, and so many of us do. And it says, when the earth shakes, its ultimate shaking. That's how it begins. It's called Surat al-Zilzal. And it describes just how this happens, how the earth throws up her burdens, because the Lord has inspired her to do this. And that's the context for the surah. And then it tells us, the message of it is, you need to realize that on that day, the final day, the day of the final shaking, which is the day of judgment, every atom's weight of good will be seen by you, and every atom's weight of evil. Every atom's weight of good and every atom's weight of evil will be seen. So when I read this again and again, in the context of this quaking and, the instability of the material world, I'm inspired to do good and to do better, and to know that every moment is so valuable, an opportunity. And so one of the things we can explore in this interview is, how many good things can we do? What can we do that will count as heavily on our scale of goodness in the presence of our Lord on the final day, and where we go from there? Where do these good actions lead us? Where do the bad actions lead? Now, in the divine context, then, every single action is important, significant, valuable, and that's something I would want to share with everyone who hears this.
Well, I think I'm going to take a short break. There's a lot of things going on here, and I'm going to let things quiet down a bit so we can continue this conversation. It's my pleasure to be talking with you. We'll be right back.